In the heart of Belgium lies a forest shrouded in an ancient mystery, a place where the trees seem to whisper secrets and the shadows stretch longer than any normal forest should allow. Hallerbos, known to the locals as the Enchanted Forest, is not just a serene natural wonder, but a land where something far darker stirs. Visitors often speak of a strange feeling upon entering, as though the forest itself recognizes their presence, wrapping them in a tight embrace that feels less welcoming and more predatory. The air is thick with a palpable sense of foreboding, as though the trees are watching, waiting for something or someone. The forest's beauty is undeniable, particularly in spring when the ground is blanketed with a sea of vibrant bluebells. Their delicate, purplish flowers sway in the breeze like whispers of forgotten souls, leaving an eerie impression that they are far more than mere plants. But many who have ventured deep into Hallerbos report strange sensations, the feeling of being followed, a fleeting glimpse of movement in the corner of their eye, the subtle crunch of leaves underfoot. Yet when they turn, nothing is there. It's as if the forest itself is alive, responding to every movement, every breath. But it isn't the flora that holds the most intrigue, it's the forest's long-standing reputation for being haunted. Tales of ghostly figures drifting through the mist and of spirits lost within its vast depths are passed down through generations. Local folklore tells of a curse placed upon the land centuries ago, a curse that binds the souls of those who have perished in its shadow to the forest forever. Some say the trees bear the weight of their sorrow, their bark marked with the names of the long dead, hidden from mortal eyes. Others speak of an unseen presence, lurking just beyond sight, watching, waiting for someone to venture too far and stumble upon the truth of what lies within the woods. As the light dims and the shadows grow long, the forest takes on an even more sinister aspect. The deeper one travels, the more oppressive the atmosphere becomes. It's as though the forest itself is closing in, thick with the scent of decay, the rustle of unseen things moving just out of reach. It is said that those who wander off the beaten path never return, vanishing without a trace. Their bodies never found, their screams never heard, as if they had been swallowed by the very earth beneath their feet. It is in the quietest moments that the true magic or course of Hallerbos reveals itself. The wind shifts, carrying with it strange whispers that sound like names of people long forgotten, people who may have once walked these same woods, now reduced to nothing more than faint echoes. The air turns cold, and the trees seem to lean in closer, as though the forest is waiting for something to break the silence. The beauty of the bluebells, so enchanting to the eye, is overshadowed by the dark presence that seems to lurk just beneath the surface. For those who are brave or foolish enough to enter, Hallerbos is not just a forest, it is a labyrinth of the mind, where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and where the true nature of the forest remains hidden, waiting to be uncovered by those willing to face its twisted depths. As you step deeper into Hallerbos, the air thickens, and the trees seem to close in around you, their gnarled branches stretching towards the sky like twisted hands reaching for something or someone. The sounds of the forest grow more pronounced, but there's something off about them. The wind, normally a soothing whisper through the leaves, now carries strange, unintelligible murmurs. At first, you might dismiss them as the rustling of the leaves or the creaking of old bark, but there's something unnerving in the cadence of the whispers, as if the very earth is trying to speak to you, beckoning you further into its dark embrace. The forest floor is soft beneath your feet, a carpet of moss and fallen leaves that muffles your every step. Yet there's an odd echo to the silence around you, a faint, almost imperceptible hum that seems to resonate from the depths of the forest. The whispers grow louder, more distinct, and you realize they are not the casual noises of nature. These sounds have intention, purpose, an urgency that presses against your chest, like a silent command to listen. Some say the voices belong to the lost souls of those who wandered too deep into the woods, never to return. Others believe it's the forest itself, a living, breathing entity that communicates with those who dare to enter its domain. The locals warn that the whispers are not just the wind, but the voices of those who once roamed these very trees. Those who listened too closely found themselves caught in the forest's spell, unable to leave. Some of them still walk these woods, wandering lost and searching for a way out. Their voices now are part of the forest's eternal hum. As you venture deeper, the shadows seem to stretch longer, and the temperature drops. The whispers become clearer, more insistent, as if the forest is urging you to uncover its secrets, to delve into the darkness that has been hidden for centuries. You stop and strain your ears, and for a moment you could almost swear the voices are speaking directly to you, calling your name, beckoning you to come closer, to listen, to understand. It's said that these whispers are not merely the wind, but the echoes of the cursed ones, those who were once consumed by the forest's insidious nature. The trees have absorbed their sorrow, their regret, and now their souls are bound to the forest, forever lost in its depths. It's not just a warning to turn back, but a plea from those who have been trapped in the forest's embrace, urging you to leave before you become another lost soul wandering the endless shadows. With every step, the whispers grow louder, their meaning slipping just out of reach, like a language you almost understand but can't quite grasp. It's as if the trees themselves are trying to tell you something important, something you're not meant to hear. And yet there's an undeniable pull to keep going, to move deeper into the woods, driven by an invisible force. It's an ancient compulsion, a magnetic force that calls to you from the darkness, telling you that the truth lies within, hidden beneath the surface of the whispers. As the night deepens, the sounds of the forest take on a more haunting quality. The whispers no longer seem like distant echoes, but voices right behind you, just out of sight, urging you forward, urging you to cross a line you can never return from. In the quiet, as the last remnants of light fade, the whispers become a chorus, and the weight of the forest presses down on you. You can feel the presence of something ancient, something malevolent, watching, waiting for the moment when the forest's secrets are finally revealed, and when you become one with the whispers beneath the trees. In the spring, when Hallerbos is at its most breathtaking, the ground becomes a canvas of violet and blue, blanketed with the delicate bluebells that paint the forest floor in an ethereal, almost hypnotic hue. Visitors come from far and wide to witness the beauty, unaware of the curse that rests beneath the vibrant flowers. Scheit Hell syndrome has described becoming the process of becoming aware of the curse that rests beneath the vibrant flowers. The bluebells, with their drooping petals and sweet fragrance, are not just a symbol of nature's splendor, they are a sign of something much darker, a secret buried deep within the heart of the forest. It is said that the bluebells are the physical manifestation of the curse that haunts Hallerbos, a curse that ties the spirits of the lost to the very earth itself. Legend tells of a time long ago when the forest was a peaceful, thriving place, untouched by darkness. But that peace was shattered by an unspeakable tragedy, an event so horrific that it left a stain upon the land that could never be removed. The curse, bound by grief and bloodshed, was placed upon the forest, and the bluebells were born as its mark. From that moment, the flowers began to bloom every spring, and with each new season they would grow in greater numbers, spreading like a plague across the land, a constant reminder of the forest's dark past. The curse of the bluebells is not one that can be seen with the naked eye, but it is felt by those who dare to venture too far into the woods. It is said that anyone who steps into the sea of bluebells, who treads too closely to their delicate petals, will be marked by the forest. The bluebells are not merely flowers, they are conduits, connecting the living to the spirits bound by the curse. The moment your foot brushes the flowers, the forest awakens, and the whispers beneath the trees grow louder, more insistent. The curse begins to take hold, and the bluebells pulse with a sinister energy, as if the forest itself is alive, feeding on the souls of those who dare to trespass. For those who wander into the bluebell's domain, the curse is not always immediate. At first it is subtle, an unsettling sensation, a sudden chill in the air, or a fleeting shadow that passes by the corner of your eye. But as the hours pass, the true nature of the curse begins to reveal itself. The forest becomes a labyrinth of shadows, the trees closing in on you, their branches twisting and reaching like skeletal fingers, guiding you deeper into the heart of the woods. The bluebells seem to grow with each step you take, their vibrant colors intensifying, and their fragrance growing overpowering, almost suffocating. It's as if the flowers themselves are drawing you further in, trapping you within the forest's grip. It's said that those who are marked by the bluebells never truly leave Hallerbos. Some vanish entirely, their bodies never found, their names lost to time. Others become lost within the maze of trees, unable to find their way out, their minds consumed by the whispers and the overwhelming presence of the spirits that dwell within the forest. They are trapped in a perpetual state of dread, wandering the woods for eternity, unable to escape the pull of the curse. Even those who manage to escape the forest's clutches are not free. The curse follows them, lingering in the back of their minds, a constant reminder of the darkness that lies within the bluebells. They hear the whispers, feel the weight of the forest's gaze, and sometimes they find themselves inexplicably drawn back to the edge of Hallerbos, as if the forest itself is calling them home. The bluebells are a symbol of that call, a reminder that no one truly leaves the forest once it has claimed them. As the years pass and more souls are consumed by the curse, the bluebells continue to spread, their presence in the forest growing stronger, more pervasive. The curse of the bluebells is not just an old legend, it is a living, breathing force, woven into the very fabric of Hallerbos. And with each passing spring, as the bluebells bloom once more, the forest grows stronger, its grip tightening on those who dare to enter. The flowers are a reminder that the curse of Hallerbos is not just something from the past. It is a present danger, always waiting for the next soul to wander too far into the depths of the enchanted woods. As dusk falls over Hallerbos, the forest seems to shift, becoming something far more sinister than the peaceful woodland it appears by day. The thick mist begins to roll in, cloaking the trees in an impenetrable veil of white. The once vibrant green leaves of the forest fade into shades of grey, and the vibrant bluebells, which were so enchanting in the daylight, now look like ghostly remnants of something long dead. It is in this mist that the true terror of Hallerbos emerges, for it is said that hidden among the swirling vapours are the Watchers, silent/unseen entities that stalk those who enter the woods after dark. No one knows exactly what the Watchers are. Some believe they are the spirits of those who were lost to the curse of the forest, their souls condemned to wander the mist for eternity, never able to find peace. Others say they are something far older, creatures of the forest itself, bound to protect the secrets hidden within the woods. But all who have encountered them agree on one thing: they are always watching, always waiting. It's a sensation that's difficult to explain. At first, the mist seems harmless, a natural part of the forest's evening atmosphere, but as you wander deeper into the fog, something shifts. The air grows colder, the silence becomes unnerving, and an overwhelming sense of being watched begins to seep into your bones. Every step feels heavy, as if the very forest is reacting to your presence, tracking your every move. It's then that the first signs appear. The faintest rustle of leaves, a whispering sound in the distance, the brush of something unseen moving just out of sight. You stop, straining your ears, but all you can hear is the soft sigh of the wind through the mist, the muffled crunch of the forest floor beneath your feet. But the sense of being observed doesn't go away. It intensifies, gnawing at you from every direction. And it's not just a feeling, it's something more tangible, like a presence that hangs in the air, thick and suffocating. You can't shake the thought that there is something moving within the mist, something just beyond the reach of your senses. The Watchers are near, and they know you are there. The Watchers are not always visible, but their presence can be felt in subtle ways. Some claim to have caught fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures lurking in the mist, tall, gaunt shapes that seem to flicker in and out of existence, their eyes glowing faintly with an unnatural light. Others report hearing footsteps behind them, slow and deliberate, yet when they turn, no one is there. It's as though the mist is alive, shifting and bending to conceal the figures that move within it. And yet, despite their elusiveness, the Watchers are never far away. You can feel them, just beyond the veil of the fog, always keeping their distance, always waiting for the right moment. But it's not just the mist that is their domain. The Watchers are said to be tied to the very trees of Hallerbos, their forms hidden within the trunks, their eyes peering out from the knots of the bark. As you walk through the fog, you might notice the strange way the trees seem to shift, their shapes distorting as though they are moving to block your path. Some who have ventured too deep into the mist claim to have seen figures step out from the trees, draped in the same fog as the forest itself. These figures are tall, featureless, and move with a fluidity that defies human nature. They do not speak, but their presence is oppressive, suffocating. And it's said that if you are unlucky enough to encounter one of the Watchers up close, they will freeze you in place with nothing more than a stare, leaving you unable to move or speak as they close in around you, their silent gaze consuming you. No one knows what the Watchers want. Some believe they are protectors of the forest, ensuring that its secrets remain hidden from the outside world. Others think they are agents of the curse, ensuring that those who enter the forest after dark never leave. There are those who even claim the Watchers are the guardians of the spirits trapped within the mist, keeping them from escaping into the world of the living. Whatever their purpose, one thing is certain. The Watchers do not want you to remain in their forest, and if you wander too far, they will make sure you never leave. Those who have encountered the Watchers rarely speak of their experience in detail. It is as though the very memory of the creatures is too terrifying to recount, their presence too overwhelming to put into words. But one thing all survivors agree on is this: once you have felt the Watcher's gaze, you are never truly free. The mist may lift, the forest may return to its peaceful state, but the sensation of being watched lingers long after you leave Hallerbos. For the Watchers are always there, hidden in the mist, waiting for the next soul foolish enough to enter their domain. The deeper you venture into Hallerbos, the more the forest seems to shift. What was once a familiar path soon becomes an endless maze of twisting trails, each more confounding than the last. The trees loom overhead, their branches tangled in a web of shadows that seems to swallow the light, and the once inviting bluebells now appear like ghostly remnants of something far darker. It's here, in this forgotten part of the forest, that the vanishing souls are said to dwell, those who, like countless others before them, have been swallowed whole by Hallerbos, never to be seen again. The stories of the lost souls of Hallerbos are as old as the forest itself. It is said that the moment you step off the path, even slightly, the forest begins to change. The trees close in around you, and the air grows thick with an eerie silence. as if the very forest itself is holding its breath, watching your every move. You feel the first signs of something wrong. The path you just walked is no longer behind you, and in its place, there is only more forest, endless and unyielding. What was once a familiar space now feels unfamiliar, strange, as if the forest is folding in on itself, trapping you within its borders. If you can't see the beauty in the backcountry, you can't realize the forest for what it really is. The deeper you go, the more you realize that the forest has a mind of its own. The trees, with their ancient, gnarled trunks, seem to shift and rearrange, creating new paths that lead nowhere, and blocking off the ones that once led you forward. The ground beneath your feet becomes uneven, the forest floor littered with thick roots and vines that threaten to trip you at every step. You try to retrace your steps, but the familiar landmarks are gone, replaced by twisted trees and shadows that seem to move when you're not looking. It's as if the forest has begun to twist reality itself, manipulating the world around you to ensure you can never leave. And then you hear it. The faint sound of voices, distant and muffled, carried on the wind. At first you might think they belong to other hikers, fellow wanderers who have ventured too far into the woods. But the longer you listen, the more unsettling the voices become. They aren't human voices, not really. They sound hollow, distant, like the cries of lost souls trapped in the forest, forever calling out for help. Some say these voices are the remnants of those who have vanished into Hallerbos over the years, people who lost their way and were never seen again. Their souls, trapped within the forest, are doomed to wander the woods, endlessly searching for a way out that will never come. It's in this moment, when you begin to question whether the voices are real or just a product of your growing fear, that you start to feel the first tug of the forest's grip. The shadows around you grow deeper, thicker, and the once gentle rustling of the leaves takes on a sinister tone, like something lurking just beyond the trees, waiting. You catch sight of something, just a flicker, a movement in the corner of your eye, and when you turn, there's nothing there. But the feeling of being followed, of being hunted, intensifies with every passing second. The forest seems to close in around you, the trees narrowing the gap between them, and the path before you fades into an endless wall of darkness. The air becomes thick with a sense of impending doom, and the voices grow louder, more frantic, as though they are right next to you, beckoning you to join them, to become one of them. The souls of the lost are not content to simply watch from the shadows. They want you to join them, to be trapped in the same never-ending nightmare of Hallerbos. It's said that those who wander too far into the depths of the forest become a part of it. They vanish without a trace, swallowed up by the trees, their bodies never found. Some claim that the forest doesn't kill those who are lost, it simply takes them, twisting them into part of its eternal cycle. These souls, forever trapped within the forest's grip, are doomed to wander the same paths over and over again, their minds forever consumed by the endless maze of trees. They are the ones who cry out for help, their voices calling to anyone who will listen, yet no one ever hears them in time. And when night falls, and the mist begins to roll in, the lost souls are said to walk among the living, their footsteps silent, but their presence undeniable. They are the shadows in the mist, the whispers beneath the trees, always just out of sight, but always there. Their souls are bound to Hallerbos, and they wait for the next lost traveller to come too close, to stray off the path and to join them in their endless, fruitless search for escape. It is said that the only way to avoid becoming one of the vanishing souls of Hallerbos is to never let the forest claim you, to never let the maze of trees pull you too far from the path. But for those who are already lost, those who have already crossed into the depths of the forest's hold, there is no escape. The forest has them now, and they will wander its shadows forever, their voices echoing in the wind, a warning to anyone foolish enough to venture too deep into the woods. Deep within the heart of Hallerbos lies a secret so ancient, so deeply entwined with the very essence of the forest, that few have lived to tell of it. The further you journey into the woods, the more the trees seem to close in, the shadows deepening, until the sunlight can barely pierce through the thick canopy. It's here, in the darkest corners of the forest, that the true nature of Hallerbos is revealed. A place that is far more than just a woodland, but a living, breathing entity that holds a darkness buried deep within its roots. The locals speak of a place hidden from all but the most daring or foolish, where the forest's pulse is strongest. Few know its exact location, and even fewer have survived the journey to find it. The Heart of Darkness, as it is known, is a place where the very land seems to shift beneath your feet, where reality warps, and the air becomes heavy with an unnatural weight. Exodus 2, where Isaac, the sculptor, died. It is said that those who find their way to this secret heart of the forest are never the same again, forever changed by the unspeakable secrets that lie hidden within. Legends tell of a time when the forest was young, a place of wild, untamed magic that pulsed with life. But this magic came at a cost. An ancient ritual, a blood offering, was performed to bind the power of the land to the will of the forest. In exchange for this power, a dark entity was bound to the heart of Hallerbos, trapped within the forest's deepest core, its essence woven into the very fabric of the woods. The entity's presence has seeped into the land over centuries, warping the trees, the soil, and the very air, creating an unnatural force that watches over all who dare to enter. To those who are unaware, the forest may seem peaceful, even enchanting in its beauty, but as you move deeper into the woods, the atmosphere changes. The whispers of the trees grow more insistent, and a palpable sense of being watched takes root, as if the forest itself is aware of your every movement. The further you go, the more oppressive the silence becomes. The air grows thick, heavy with a presence that presses down upon you from all sides. It's a suffocating feeling, one that takes hold of your chest and refuses to let go. The Heart of Darkness is not a place that can be easily found. Those who seek it out, driven by curiosity or the promise of unimaginable power, are often led astray. The path to the hearth is an elusive one, with the forest itself shifting and changing, creating illusions that lead wanderers in circles. What seems like a familiar trail quickly turns unfamiliar, and the deeper you go, the more lost you become. The trees themselves seem to change their shape, bending in unnatural angles as if they are shifting to conceal the heart from view. It's as though the forest is actively trying to keep its secrets hidden, preventing anyone from uncovering the truth buried at its core. And then, when you least expect it, you find yourself standing at the edge of something indescribable. The Heart of Darkness is a place of swirling shadows and unnatural stillness. The trees here are ancient, their gnarled roots twisting like serpents, their trunks thick with age and decay. There's an unsettling sense that the forest has grown around something older and more malevolent, and it pulses with an energy that seems to vibrate through your bones. The air is thick, saturated with a kind of malevolent magic that makes your skin crawl. At the center of the heart lies the source of the forest's power, an ancient twisted tree that towers over all others, its bark blackened and slick with an oily sheen. Its roots snake deep into the earth, and its branches stretch toward the sky like dark fingers grasping at the air. This tree is the anchor for the dark entity that resides within the heart of Hallerbos, the force that binds the forest to its will. It is said that the tree pulses with a strange energy, an energy that calls to those who are sensitive to its power, luring them closer, deeper into the forest's grip. Those who have dared to approach the tree report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, a presence so strong it seems to suffocate all other emotions. It is said that once you come close enough to the tree, You can feel the dark entity stirring within, as if it's aware of your presence, aware of your every breath. The air grows thick with the scent of decay, and the trees surrounding the heart seem to bend toward the source of the power, their branches swaying as if they are alive, watching you. The whispers of the forest become louder, more insistent, urging you to leave before it's too late. It is believed that those who get too close to the heart of darkness are never seen again. Their bodies are never found, and their souls are said to become trapped within the forest, bound to the ancient power that lurks within the tree. The forest has a way of drawing people in, of enticing them with its beauty and mystery, only to claim them as part of its dark magic. The heart of Hallerbos is not just a place, it is a force, one that manipulates and controls all who enter its domain, and once you've come too close, there's no turning back. The forest keeps its secrets well hidden, and those who seek the truth of the heart may never return. But for those who survive the encounter, the experience is life-changing, whether for better or worse. The heart of darkness is not just a place of power, it is a test, a challenge for those who seek to understand the ancient malevolent force that lies beneath the beauty of Hallerbos. And for those brave enough to uncover its hidden secrets, the forest will always be waiting, ready to consume the next soul foolish enough to wander too far into its depths. As night falls over Hallerbos, the forest seems to awaken in a way that defies all logic. The trees, once welcoming during the daylight hours, now stretch toward the sky like twisted, gnarled fingers, their shadows falling across the forest floor like dark stains that seem to pulse with malevolent energy. The bluebells, which once painted the forest floor in shades of violet and blue, now seem like dim, ghostly remnants of something far darker. In the depth of the woods, beyond the reach of the familiar paths, lies something far older, far darker, an entity bound to the very soul of the forest itself, a being that has fed on the fear and despair of countless souls for centuries. This entity, known only as the Dark One, is said to be the very heart of the forest's evil, a force so ancient and powerful that it predates the trees themselves. It was born from the dark magic that permeates the soil of Hallerbos, a malevolent presence that has taken root deep within the land. Some say it is the spirit of the forest itself, a being that feeds off the souls of those who are unfortunate enough to wander too far into its depths. Others believe it is something far worse, an ancient forgotten god, banished long ago to the heart of the forest to languish in darkness for eternity. The legend of the Dark One has been passed down through the generations, a warning whispered by the locals to anyone who dares to venture too far into Hallerbos. Those who have come close to the heart of the forest and survived speak of a palpable presence that follows them, a suffocating feeling that seems to close in around them, making it difficult to breathe or think clearly. It's as though the air itself is thick with an oppressive force, one that clings to your skin and twists your thoughts until you can barely tell where the forest ends and the dark entity begins. The deeper you go into Hallerbos, the more the shadows seem to grow. At first, the trees appear normal, their trunks thick and sturdy, their leaves rustling gently in the wind. But as you move further into the forest, the atmosphere shifts. The shadows grow longer, stretching across the ground like dark tendrils, and the air becomes thick with an unsettling quiet. The sounds of the forest seem to vanish, replaced by an eerie stillness that makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. Every step you take feels heavier, as though something is pulling at your very soul, dragging you deeper into the heart of the darkness. Chapter 5. It is in this oppressive silence that the first signs of the Dark One's presence begin to reveal themselves. The trees, once familiar, now seem to twist and distort, their shapes no longer natural but monstrous. Gnarled branches that reach out like claws, their leaves darkening until they seem black in the dim light. The wind shifts, carrying with it the faintest whispers. Voices that seem to come from nowhere, but that echo in your mind with chilling clarity. Some say these whispers are the voices of those who have fallen prey to the Dark One, their souls trapped forever in the forest's grip, speaking from beyond the grave. Others believe that the whispers are the voice of the Dark One itself, calling out to you, urging you to come closer, to fall under its control. As you push forward, the forest begins to close in around you. The trees grow thicker, their trunks larger, their branches twisting together to form a canopy that blocks out the light completely. The mist rolls in, thick and oppressive, swirling around your feet like a living thing. You can no longer see the path you are following, and the once familiar surroundings have become unrecognizable. The forest seems to be alive, shifting and moving, bending the very fabric of reality itself to trap you within its endless maze. Every direction you turn leads only to more trees, more darkness. There is no escape, and then you feel it. The presence, the oppressive weight of something watching you from within the shadows. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Its eyes, piercing and cold, following you as you move, as though it knows your every thought, every fear. It's in the way the trees bend toward you, as though they are being pulled by an unseen force, their branches creaking and groaning as if alive. The very air seems to thicken, pressing in on you, suffocating you. The whispers grow louder, more insistent, until they are all you can hear, echoing in your mind, urging you to give in, to surrender to the darkness. At the heart of the forest, where the trees are at their thickest and the shadows are deepest, lies the source of the Dark One's power, a twisted, ancient tree whose bark is slick with a dark, oily substance. Its roots stretch deep into the earth, feeding on the dark energy that permeates the soil. The air around it is thick with an unnatural stillness, and the ground is littered with the remnants of those who have come too close, their bones scattered and bleached by time, the remnants of their souls absorbed by the forest, bound to it for eternity. The Dark One itself is said to reside within this tree, its form a shifting, amorphous shape that blends seamlessly into the shadows. It is not a creature of flesh and bone, but a presence, a force that exists beyond the realm of human understanding. Some say it takes the shape of a massive shadowy figure, its eyes glowing with an unearthly light, while others claim it is nothing more than a whisper in the darkness, an intangible force that can only be felt but never seen. Whatever form it takes, the Dark One is real, and it is always waiting, always watching, always hungry for more. Those who venture too close to the source of the Dark One's power find themselves unable to escape. The forest seems to grow around them, closing in tighter and tighter until there is no way out. The trees bend and twist in unnatural ways, blocking every exit, trapping them in a labyrinth of shadows. The air grows thicker, the whispers louder, until the very forest itself seems to consume them, pulling them into its depths, their souls lost forever to the Dark One's power. The Dark One is not just a legend. It is a living, breathing entity, bound to the very heart of Hallerbos. And once you have encountered it, once you have felt its presence, there is no escape. The forest will keep you, just as it has kept countless others before you, their souls forever trapped in the shadows of the Dark One's domain. The forest of Hallerbos, with its ancient trees and deep shadows, is a place where time seems to stand still. As the sunlight fades and the mist rolls in, the forest transforms into something else, something far more sinister. The familiar paths that once guided hikers safely through the woods become treacherous, leading those who dare to venture too deep into the clutches of something darker. For those who find themselves lost in its depths, escape becomes a question of survival, and the price for freedom maybe more than anyone is willing to pay. There's a point in every journey into Hallerbos when you begin to realize the forest is no longer just a collection of trees and underbrush. It has become something else, alive, aware, and watching. The once welcoming bluebells that blanket the forest floor now seem like faded memories, and the ancient trees no longer stand as guardians, but as silent sentinels, their twisted limbs reaching out as if to grab you. You can feel it. The forest is alive, breathing in rhythm with your own heartbeat, growing more oppressive with each step you take. Those who have been lost in Hallerbos for too long speak of a sensation of being drawn into the very fabric of the forest itself. They describe the moment when their sense of self begins to fade, when they no longer feel like individuals, but like one with the trees, one with the darkness. It is said that those who fall prey to the forest are never the same. Once they have been claimed, they become part of the forest's eternal cycle, forever bound to its depths, their souls trapped for eternity, their bodies forgotten by the world outside. Escape, it seems, is an illusion. The forest does not let go. It does not release those who wander too far, those who stray from the paths it has set before them. Once you have crossed the threshold of its darkness, you are forever bound to it. The very air, thick with the scent of decay and loss, seems to press down on you, making it impossible to escape, impossible to breathe freely. The darkness envelops you, and the forest becomes your prison, its shadows your chains. And so, the forest claims another soul. One more lost wanderer trapped in the eternal embrace of Hallerbos. The whispers will continue, the shadows will stretch on forever, and the forest will wait, always hungry, always watching, for the next soul to wander too far, to stray from the path, and to become bound to the endless darkness that lies within its heart. Until there's nothing left of the tree of life that reincarnates the Great Spirit. Until there is nothing left of the tree of elevation that lies within its heart.